All right, hi everybody. I'm here on the waterfront in Guysborough on a bit of a windy day with some thoughts on the federal budget that was released yesterday by Finance Minister, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, and it contains a lot of spending. I guess the first thing we know is that the budgets do not balance themselves, unlike what the Prime Minister said a few years ago when they started committing to deficit spending. The deficit this year is just under $40 billion. It's predicted to rise to about in the 50 billions by the end of 5 years. Of course, this government will be out of office by then, but the deficit is very large, caused mostly by inflationary spending. A lot of new spending announced in this budget. 54.1 billion in debt charges. It was going to rise to $64 billion by 2028-29 fiscal year, which is about the same as the revenue, the entire revenue from across the country from the GST. It also, debt spending on the federal debt is going to represent a greater amount than the health spending by the federal government. It's about 10, climbing to 11% of the federal budget over the course of 5 years. So huge numbers, big numbers being passed on to the next generation. Ironically too, because the federal budget is being billed and promoted by the government as something that is intended to win back millennial and Generation Z voters. I don't think that's going to be the case. They're going to see all this spending and know that this is going to be their responsibility to pay back as they enter the workforce and start earning money and paying their own taxes. So not great for future generations, and is really going to put the country in difficult financial circumstances, particularly for unexpected events like the financial crisis of 2008, the pandemic, potential conflicts in an uncertain global world these days, with conflicts in Ukraine, the Middle East. It's uncertain to what might be happening in the next few years, and so difficult when you don't have any fiscal room in the budget to deal with unexpected events. But that's where the government has put us. Nothing new in particular for Atlantic Canada. Not a lot of new spending that is particularized to our region of the country. It's mostly broad-based. A lot of money for housing, military, and some economic growth incentive programs. But like everything with this government, they're very big on aspiration, very low grades on execution when it comes to programs actually doing what they're intended to do. So we'll see. I think they're going to face some pushback on this budget, and that it's not going to succeed as they're planning. But the major thing is that it's not going to reduce inflation at all. It's going to increase inflation as all this spending is just added to the economy. And trying to fix problems that this government over the course of 8 years has created themselves, with allowing too many people into the country that were, the country was unprepared to host, undermining the national consensus on immigration, and causing many other problems as a result. So lots of issues with this budget. Like I say, certainly it's, as we're discovering, not balancing itself. It looks like I see the NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is not committing to supporting the budget, but it certainly sounds like he's going to try to push for a few things, but then ultimately support the budget. So it seems like it will pass. If it doesn't, of course, then we'd be into a federal election. Otherwise, we'll be still probably looking at next year and see what the other parties do. Lots of interesting things to come with the debate over the budget, and I'll be following that and reporting. But that's my initial review. Lots of new spending, inflationary pressure, and some new programs. The taxes on entrepreneurs and some wealthier Canadians at the margins. I don't think you'll see too much pushback on that. but it's certainly not going to have the effect that the Liberals are hoping for either. So lots in the budget, but an inflationary budget, and one that is showing these Liberals to be poor fiscal managers, beholden to the NDP certainly in their approach to fiscal matters, and so we'll be suffering as a result. So that's my review of the budget as it's outlined, as it was released yesterday, and interested in any feedback people have on that, and looking forward to, as I'm out here on the wharf, looking forward to lobster season as well and get a few feeds. Hopefully the price isn't too high on those like it is on everything else. All right, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.